Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today I am just going to be talking about Pantheon, the new roller coaster that has been announced for Busch Gardens Williamsburg in 2020. This is an intimate multi-launch roller coaster and it will have that feature, as many do, where it's a triple launch but just with the one launch track where it'll send you up the spike, back down and backwards up a different spike and then forwards again, and you can complete the element and carry on with the rest of the ride. So in my opinion, this will be one of the best new roller coasters coming in the world next year. I think it does look absolutely awesome. Obviously stuff like Kings Island's Giga Coaster probably will overtake it, but it still does look like a great ride. I think it's a great fit for Busch Gardens Williamsburg. If it hadn't been for Tempesto, as I do think now that that ride will basically become irrelevant, as there's no point for Tempesto anymore. The whole draw to that when it opened in 2015 was that it was a multi-launch coaster, and now they've gone and built this. And the two roller coasters are going to be pretty much next to each other as well. So probably Tempesto will really drop in popularity, but I'll be honest, that's probably needed seeing as that it's only got one train with 12 seats. So as I previously said, this ride will be very near to the Tempesto roller coaster. It's going to be located in Festa Italia, meaning that that area now has 3 roller coasters, as it does have the B&M hypercoaster Apollo's Chariot as well. So the theme of this is obviously all the different Roman gods, and all the different parts of the ride, different bits of the ride will reflect the different personalities and different traits and features of these different gods. So obviously you launch out the station, you go round into your high-speed switch track, and that's when you do the triple launch then, where you go forwards, up, and then you go backwards, and then you go forwards again, where you then just get enough speed to make it over the top part. You go round and then there's lots of high-speed turnarounds, some airtime hills, and then you hit the brakes. This will be a fairly short ride, but there again, it doesn't need to be a long ride, and it's not meant to be a long ride. I mean, it's going to be similar in terms of how it'll feel, I'm guessing, to stuff like Accelerator at Knott's Berry Farm. It's a ride that's over quick, but it's a ride that packs a punch. But a lot of that ride length will be increased, remember, when you're doing that triple launch, when you keep going forwards and backwards. That will probably add quite a significant time onto the ride length than what it would normally be when you're just looking at this. So obviously when you're looking at this picture here, it does look like a really short ride. However, that is one factor to bear in mind that will definitely make it longer. Ride will also run the same trains as Taron at Phantasialand, meaning a very small, slim, lap bar restraint, meaning you can get exceptional amounts of airtime throughout the ride, and you really feel free and you can put your arms in the air and you're not restricted in any way at all. So that is absolutely perfect, and you will really enjoy the ride well. So are these stats as good as what people were thinking? I think that they're very good stats, to be honest. I think it looks like a great ride. I think some people overestimated it a bit and started thinking that it's going to be some kind of giga launch coaster, which is just a bit of a ridiculous expectation really. But yeah, so we've got 3 launches, 72 miles an hour, so again, you know, fast launches, and there's going to be 3 of them as well, so perfect there. Again, that's brilliant. I mean, if you look at rides like Icon, Taron, all stuff like that, most of them are a lot slower than this, but you should expect this to be faster as well, because it is a much bigger ride and it is geared around the speed. The main thing that you're going to feel on this ride is the speed in them big sweeping turns. So I think the fact that it's 178 feet high was probably done deliberately by the park, because it shows that it's a bigger ride than the nearby Tempesto, therefore obviously showing it when the public think, well, that's another multi-launch coaster, just showing off that, well, yeah, but they've bettered themselves with it. But of course, it's not as big as the nearby Apollo's Chariot, which is a hyper coaster, which is obviously built on something completely different, the drops and the airtime, which is something that this is not. So if they made that bigger than 200 feet, this new launch coaster, then it would therefore kind of render Apollo's Chariot as a bit useless in many ways. So I can kind of see why they did that height, and I think it was kind of tactical of them. 95-degree drop is brilliant. Obviously it's slightly beyond vertical, but that will mean that you'll get some great air time on the drop. You're going to be straight out of your seat, and 2 inversions as well. So that means there that 2 inversions is something that even people who get really sick of them can handle, as that's not something that really happens much on the ride. So it's something that happens just a bit, that, you know, it's not over facing you at all. It's just 2 quick inversions and that's about it. But of course some elements are there to add to the ride as well. The first inversion is before the launch, so that is before the multi-launch section. After the first launch, that should be taken a bit slower than the second launch, which will obviously be taken after the multi-launch, which you should take at some speed hopefully and get some great forces. So then let's summarise. Is Pantheon a good addition to Busch Gardens Tampa? Absolutely. It will really complement the lineup of roller coasters there, and it will really add to it as well. It will become one of the main rides that people go to, and it will be a standout addition for the 2020 season. With some great new rides on the horizon for 2020, this will be definitely one of the standout attractions that people will be sure to head to Virginia to go and ride next year. So thank you very much for watching. These are just some of my thoughts on the new ride, just some of my opinions that I wanted to let you know of. Give your opinions and thoughts on the ride in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video very soon. Bye now.